think something has to be changed in this. It's not, you know, if I read this right, anyway, if you wanted to put something in your garage and you tap your water system, you have to pay another sewer bill. That's how it reads.
Yeah.
So, but like I said, if we turn it to an apartment, I'm right there. I'm happy to pay, you know.
As council recalls, we had another property owner here a few months ago who requested a modification in her water bill because one of the units in her building was not being rented, was being used as a showcase, and council said, no, there's water to the building, so you're paying for all the units. We do have a provision in our ordinance for moving to a metering system, which actually is required now for any new businesses. And that, I'm presuming it's a 3/4 line?
I don't know.
Okay.
This is not a new business, it's an old business.
Right,
18 years I've been here.
which is why you were grandfathered in on
Right.
the flat rate.
Yeah.
But given that there is water to a possible dwelling upstairs, you could move to a metering, and at a 3/4 inch line, the minimum charge is the same as the flat rate. And that covers 9,000 gallons a month.
Yeah, what about the sewer and all that?
Would have to, I apologize, I don't have the sewer rates in front of me.
So I just disagree with the whole thing. I mean, it's asinine, actually. So I feel about it. It's not, if it's an apartment and I rent it out, I'd be happy to pay you your deal. Right now, we use so little water or anything out of that building, up and down, but it's part of the business. The showroom on the business is that simple, you know? That's not a big deal here, I mean, big deal for $167, so.
Thank you, Councilman Howie.
You brought up we're learning too.
I understand that.
And you brought up a good point. The previous lady who asked for a waiver had an existing apartment, it had been used as an apartment, it had been billed for water as an apartment.
Yeah.
And while she had explained that she was using it as a showcase, part of the problem is that it was already established to
Yeah, it's two
be a
different
water
things.
consuming account.
You know,
You're talking about a showroom.
a real showroom, and you're all
It
welcome
has-
to go down and look at it.
It has no intent to ever be.
I don't know, right now, as long as I own it, you know, but, I mean, it's working for me, the selling part is working for me, so.
And believe me, we want your business to succeed.
Yeah, I do too.
Uh,
So it's working for me for the sales end, so I don't see us,
This is,
Going to-
Townsend Flooring might be the only business in the city where a showroom like this would even come across our desks.
you know, so.
Uh,
But anyway, I think that should be waived, I mean, I don't understand, the ordinance is vague anyway, if you read it, you know, I mean, it's all part of my business, you know.
It's difficult to write a law that encompasses every possible
Oh, yeah,
situation.
no doubt about it, you know, but, any questions or anything?
Any other questions from council? It is that kind of a situation that makes me think that if you installed a meter, then this issue, should it ever be rented, it's up to you or whoever
I'm
owns the
saying that,
property.
we don't need a meter, nobody else has much of a meter. It's part of my business, it's a showroom, I don't, you know, you wanna meter everybody, then that's fine too, you know, but, there's no garbage, put the garbage cans out of there. I don't know, you know.
Mayor, in this situation, I'm inclined to a waiver, but I would like to have a discussion with the planning board, because we would need to create the proper infrastructure to establish this exception to the rule. and how that exception would change, how we would accommodate a change in use.
I got one.
Nate,
Dennis, where are you down, sorry?
I'm done enough, Nick, go ahead.
Is there any way of shutting off the water to the upstairs?
Yeah, I could turn the bell off. To be real honest with you, I don't think that's the answer, you know?
No,
Yeah,
I'm just-
I can, you know,
I'm just curious if you
that's
could
what they
tell.
wanted me to do here, shut the water down and plug it or something, but I don't think that's the answer here. The answer is, you know, before I do that, I'll just pay you your money probably. But,
Just wondering if you could.
you know what I mean, I just think the ordinance doesn't fit me for what I get there, you know?
Cause your intention was not to rent it out
No,
at all, you
No.
just sell your products.
yeah, but I built it in such a way, if it didn't work, we could, you know, we could rent it out, you know? It actually looks like a home when you walk in there. Doesn't look like apartment, it's beautiful, actually. I'm not, I don't have no intention of ever renting it out, you know, okay? But it's there to do it, and I'll be happy to pay the garbage man, says, very happy. That's two different things.
I just am not sure of what the best way to proceed is. It's a pretty high cost to put in a meter. Digging holes, cost of the meter.
any cost estimate, Eric?
I don't, it's been a year since I priced them out, and like, you know what, that market's changing left and right.
Like fast, yeah.
Yeah, I cannot remember. I don't wanna say it, cause I'll be wrong.
This
Yeah.
is, the meter certainly is a convenient solution, but we're creating a solution because we don't know how to trust that the use would never change.
But I could write it right in there, I'll sign it. And I don't know, it's pretty simple, I mean, you can tell if we use the garbage or not, you know? So,
The cost of a meter will depend on the size of your line.
yeah,
But there's also the cost of installing it.
Oh, sure.
yeah,
It's the cost of monitoring it month to month. It's not a zero cost burden
Agreed.
for a showroom.
Dennis, I can't remember, is there even a door? When you walk up the stairs, is there even a door to go into there?
yeah, upstairs there is.
There isn't, I wasn't sure if
Yeah,
it was on
there's a door there. I put
What
a
is
dollar
the access to this facility? What's the access to the showroom?
Is it an outside access?
Two, both of them. There's a deck out back, and then we have one from inside the store.
Asking it a little different way,
Yeah.
if you were to choose to rent it, how would somebody get access to the apartment but not access to the store?
To go up the back steps, up back, I got a deck there with steps.
Angie, you're on the planning board, what do you think?
That's an odd,
I'm going to interject here that city's current ordinances do include this statement. The city reserves the right to set meters at the cost of the consumer and charge the meter rates specified in the fee schedule whenever there is any doubt as to the quantity of water used or wasted. And that's within our metered service section.
I don't disagree with you, Mayor, as a showroom, that seems like,
Yeah, there is no water,
Dramatic solution.
pretty much. We don't use 10 gallons of water a month, probably, you know. And I don't use hardly any downstairs, I don't think that's the answer.
Can you use that back exit for like a fire escape?
Yep,
So, I mean, you have to get out of the place,
yep,
so for your showroom, I
Yeah.
mean. I know
you
you
go
go in,
either
but
way,
It's more of a safety to get out.
yep.
Oh.
Well, I just don't understand it, you know, I mean, it's just not right, I don't think. You know, it's just not, it's, under these circumstances.
I
you know?
don't understand why it was hooked up in the first place if it was just meant to be used as a showroom. Most showrooms that I see aren't functioning with water and toilet and shower and things of that nature.
We wanted to make it look like it's a home and everything, and then, like I said, if and it didn't work for what we planned for, and we decided then to go to an apartment, we'd be ready to go. And you gotta keep it clean and order.
My question would be, how much inconvenience if you just shut that water off? Where people couldn't use it up there, is that gonna create a big inconvenience to the customer?
The issue is that the water to the building is from the curb stop.
Oh,
Same
that's right.
channel.
And I got a valve inside the building to shut the water off from upstairs.
That's what I was
But I
wondering.
don't know. But I think, I guess I just think the ordinance is wrong for me, for my situation, that's what I think. I don't think that shutting the water off or metering them or anything like that, the deal here is we don't use hardly any water. It's not set up for anything but a showroom, you know? And yes, I run water up there, but I should be able to, I own the building, you know, and it's, part of the building, I mean, it's not like I went
Not
to,
being used for something separate.
no, it's
Yeah,
all
it's
part of my
for one
business, it's all, the whole thing is my business and everything, and that's what it's used for. Nobody has ever slept in the bed, shower's never been used, washer and dryer's never been used, the dishwasher's never been used, and it won't be used, unless I'm gonna rent it out. And I foresee that won't happen. Anyway, I thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dennis.
See you guys.
The slippery slope that this is should that business change hands and the new owner rents out that apartment and the city is unaware of that and does not charge the appropriate public works fees. We have some other situations that are going on in town right now that we're researching that have to do with that very thing. And the way water is running into, or where what service line is providing water to what buildings. And I believe this is one of the reasons why these ordinances are written the way that they are.
Mm.
Now, certainly, council can take a look at that and try to carve something out for this. I don't think the planning board is the place to put that. This is a council decision.
In truth, I don't really think that it's any different than the duplex situation, because even though he's stating that it is a showroom, there is water, there is sewer, there is double access to it. So again, as you told the lady that came before the council previously, how do we know? We just can't take their word for it. I mean, everybody has good intentions, but how do you enforce that? You have to go by with what the ordinance, the way the ordinance is written. Could it change? Most definitely.
You could put some verbiage in there where they could be inspected upon the city request at any given time if necessary. I don't know if that's
I think-
walking on a slippery slope too.
Our current ordinances do provide for inspection by the city.
It's a hard one to, it's the weird duck, you know.
Did we put
100%
provision in
believe
there?
Dennis is
Sells
not
it?
trying to pull a,
Do we have to relook at it?
I don't think it's necessarily look at it, it's just.
So I mean, if he sells the business. then we
Is there a
say, okay.
variant section in the water
then-
ordinance? No, yeah.
If he sells it and the new owners decide that they want to live in the apartment above their business, they could do that. And then it could be a tax write-off too for them because their,
Right,
house
that's what I
takes
mean,
up
to turn
a
the
portion
water
of their
back. Feed back
business,
on, is what I'm saying.
But the valve to his water is on the inside, it's not shut off by the city, that's controlled by him.
I thought you said you could connect it to the city with that. Can you turn it
It's
on?
connected on the inside.
It's an interior valve.
He ran the lines internally. That's why you can't shut it off, or the city wouldn't have control over the shut off portion.
It is my opinion that this situation is rare, that it should deserve consideration for a waiver because it is in fact a showroom. And we're perhaps being too worried about what might happen in the future. That might, granted, it might be 6 months from now, but it also could be 20 years from now. And I don't think the council wants to be perceived as simply being, trying to rake in cash.
That is true, but you're also possibly setting a precedence that could open a door for a lot more headaches.
I'm interested. How do you perceive the precedent causing that problem?
You're giving one person the right to do something that you've told others no.
The one other person that's been told no so far had a pre-existing water account.
Mhm.
It was a pre-existing operating apartment.
It's a fourplex, correct? So this
Yeah.
was built for two.
And the mayor
Right
just,
now.
the mayor just stated that there's
I
other
think the intended purpose of what Dennis
investigations
is
going on
doing
in
is not,
town, so
at
there's
least
other
at the time
issues.
being,
Let
to
Angie finish.
Doug, would you repeat what you just said?
His intended purposes are completely to be a showroom, not a living, although it could be, but I think it's something that, at any given time, it's gonna be a livable space, whether it be Dennis or somebody else, it wouldn't be hard to figure that out. My heart tells me I'd be in favor of a waiver under this, that's a weird duck, that's all it is, and, it's not like he's trying to skirt the situation, or this other gal, it's a livable space, duplex, people living in it, have lived in it.
The space that he has, he stated was livable. He stated that if it didn't work out for him, that he could rent it out. That's my point though, is it is a possibility that he could lease that property
Right.
to another person, which then puts it in the, are we just gonna take his word for it?
I don't know. It's a tough one.
It's truly
is very-
unfortunate that he piped the water. That's unfortunately what this really boiled down to, is that not perceiving the consequences, he just simply built a completely functional showroom.
Well,
Vivian?
his option is that he can put in the meter and then whatever that is, you know, if he's under that usage, they're not using that much, then he won't be paying double, he'll just be paying the one monthly fee.
That is true.
So that is his
Depending on
out.
the size line, I'm presuming it's probably 3/4 inch,
Yeah,
but I don't know for sure.
but the other fees associated with putting in the meter, you know, could be more, but
It's
however,
bigger.
that is his long-term out.
The ordinances were adopted by council. I will enforce them as the mayor. So this is council's decision.
Do we have a rough estimate what a meter would cost? 5,000, 10,000,
5 would be high.
5,000?
I bet you it'd be around 2.
And then
Do you
installation?
think I'm close to?
I think you're right in there. Like you say, what was it when we priced, from a 3/4 to an, inch was quite a bit.
Yeah.
And the
I
cost of installation.
can't remember what they have in there, but I'll be willing to bet you that it's got a bigger line, because, you know, when they first started that, it was the health club, right?
Yeah,
They built it for the health club.
Max did that.
Yeah, so I would assume they run a bigger line, but, you know, you'd have to look and see what's coming in.
I mean, Dennis came in tonight and basically just stated that the city ordinance didn't bode well for him. I would suggest that maybe the council take the time to see if there's a better option than make a rash decision this evening.
That's probably good.
We can get an estimate on the price of a meter, verify the size of service line, and go from there.
I think that's a good idea.
Okay? Thank you. Because Eric has nothing to do these days.
May I also make one other comment?
Sure.
It might behoove council to look at it too, and actually see what you see up there. I don't know what it looks like. Have you been upstairs?
I actually bought my flooring because I looked at what they had on the floor.
Sure.
It was awesome.
Yeah, you know, so I mean,
Beautiful up there.
it might benefit council to actually look and see what we're looking at, you know, because, and the only reason I say that is I know there was that one house on Maple, and we pulled up the pictures, and council, it was back when Tim was the director, but looked at the shed in back and seen it was a completely functioning, unit, you know, so I mean, maybe council needs to look at it and see, and make a more informed decision that way too, so.
I have a question.
Yes, Vivian?
When people go and make these additions or improvements to their property in these types of spaces, do they have to come and get a building permit? Inspected,
They-
or what is the like, how did he not get to like, you know, see the whole water ordinance and then go, oops, and then go, it doesn't apply to me?
We do have a process for getting building permits. That doesn't mean that everyone gets them. Okay, sometimes people come in and get them after the fact, when another resident has said, hey, they're building something there.
But you didn't ask an
Is-
interesting question. Should he have had one? Was he required to get one to do this?
I do believe the way that the zoning works is as long as there are no exterior walls removed or changed or added, he was not required because it was an internal remodel. Which also is another reason why your building inspector would have never have known that there was a remodel in progress because it was an interior situation.
Doug?
I guess one last question. You know, I was in the home improvement business for years and years, and all the stores, if you go into a Lowe's, Home Depot, all their kitchen cabinet, bathroom displays, none of them have running water. So that's essentially what he's doing, is making a display. I wish I would ask the question, why do you find it necessary to have running water? And on that note, can you shut that water off or reroute it somewhere? We have more control over that. I just don't know why it's so essential to have running water in a display purpose.
Because he said if this didn't work out, they would have rented it.
That goes back to my question, can you reroute or shut that water off somehow where we have control over it? I know it's an inside shut off.
That would be separate line.
Maybe that right there is your solution. Instead of asking him to put a meter on, why not ask him to make the valve outside where the guys would have access to it to shut it off?
Exactly.
So you
Because he
have
says he's
two-
hardly ever using it. I don't
two
see
curb
where he-
stops? You have two curb stops to one building? I don't think so.
Well,
that's
he'd
what I
have to
thought.
run a whole nother line in order to do that.
To do that.
Okay, that makes sense.
Okay.
This is, I do know of one resident where a previous council required him to physically actually cut the pipe. As long as the pipe, even though the apartment in the back of his, it was like a shed or something behind his mobile home. And even though it was, in his opinion, an unlivable situation, because it had been used previously, it had a previous address account for water, the city required him to physically cut the line before they could disconnect the, or disable the accounting for water use.
Yes,
Did you, it's in the ordinances, correct, like any new construction, they gotta have a, for a separate dwelling, they gotta have a separate water line. Now, and I know there was old ones that didn't, but I thought that was in the ordinances.
Isn't that 2 curb stops to one building?
Well, it's like, there's an apartment down on Cedar, that guy went in, he had 4 apartments. He was getting charged for all 4, whether they were full or not, so he dug from the curb box, the city curb box, and he ran 4 different lines into each apartment. So he could isolate each
So we
apartment.
do have an example of one building or one, is it one building?
No, it's for
one curb stop that he can,
Well, what he did was he came in and he came, okay, the city has a curb box, and beyond it, he has 4. So what the city does, well, at that time, I looked at him and I go, we're responsible from this dirt box to the main. From here on, she's all yours, but you could at least turn it on and off.
The city.
The city.
Yep.
That's another example, I'm sorry, Mayor.
Yes,
Another example is a professional building. We got a water line that goes in the front, and then we dug in the 2 lines in the back, and they run down the alley for the apartments that are upstairs. So we can turn off the businesses downstairs, but the apartments upstairs, they come off of the back. So,
So it is doable. It is possibly doable.
The
Yeah,
state's gonna try.
it'd be really expensive for him to run a new
Okay.
water line in. He would have to tap in off the front,
off front, yeah.
yeah. It'd cost.
How much more expensive would that be than putting in a $2,000 valve, or pardon me, $2,000 meter?
Oh, it'd be astronomical, cause you're replacing the asphalt in the highway. And then you're tapping into that, cause the main there is underneath the, and then you'd have to tear out the sidewalk, and replace the sidewalk. All things are possible.
Where's the curb stop?
The water main is right underneath the fog line, on Front Street there. Yep,
On 287.
yep.
Anytime you're playing on the highway, it's been expensive.
Well, that's,
are we back to where we were several minutes ago, that we'll
get more information.
get more information, then we'll see what we can do here?
Good conversation, though.
Oh, yes, yeah, it was great. I mean, it was a good conversation, thank you, council. Okay, next item of business is the fireworks ordinance. Has council had a chance to read this?
I have not. I started reading it this evening when I got here, and I have a couple of concerns.
If I may,
Yes.
this was not presented to council tonight for any form of action.
Okay.
It was an introduction, so that council can start reading it and start bringing up
Okay.
issues.
Great.
May I ask a question?
Should be
Yes.
copies in your email
How-
as well.
No, it wasn't attached to the email that we received, but it would be in our packets tonight.
Yes.
That's not my question. My question is, how would the fireworks committee like to hear our constructive questions?
Just like we discussed the other thing a few minutes ago.
Okay. So you wanna do them in council, or maybe at the next council meeting?
There's no problem with that.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, thank you. Okay. Do we have any updates on the general ordinance review process?
We have the fireworks.
Okay. All right, okay, how about events?
Events committee is meeting, tomorrow here at City Hall at 3 p.m.
Okay. Telecommunications, I recall that we collectively had gotten a start on that one. Peter was city attorney, and he proposed.
JB and I had spoken, and we're gonna see if we could get the information that Peter had accumulated, and see if we could do some more research into getting that ordinance started. It is a lot, so
Is it just the two of you on that?
it is,
Do you need more help?
the more the merrier, if you're willing.
Bring me in.
Although until we actually get the information from Peter, there's not really anything to do.
That is true.
Yeah,
That is
but
very
at least
true.
you'll have one more mind
That's true.
or paper pusher.
At that point, once we get to review things, at that point, yes.
Okay, there is no new information on either garbage cans or sewer ordinance tonight. Is there a motion to approve claims?
I'll make a motion, we approve the claims.
I'll second that.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the claims. Is there any discussion from council? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried, thank you. Yes, Nate?
What exactly are you waiting for on the garbage
for Eric and me to make contact with the business owners and possibly the chamber, because we believe those garbage cans were put up as a chamber project. And, right now, they're pretty much under control, but as the weather gets better and more outside events happen, there are some locations on Broadway where those cans fill up really fast
How did you know that?
and overflow.
Wasn't sure if we're still, if we're waiting for something different.
No, it's just a matter of
Sure.
that contact and seeing if some of the businesses will help with that.
Thank you.
Is there any further public comment tonight? Sean, Nicole, sorry, Tim, go ahead.
Are you done? Almost? I
Pretty
should have
close.
said that this first. The main reason I came in, I am so happy to see them shiny new red fire hydrants.
I
And
bet you
think-
are.
I think, that construction company's doing a very good job.
Thank you.
I mean, they've been, they working in, when it was that cold, I was a little surprised, but, boy, they're going through them now. And, but the paper said last week you're replacing 107.
Yeah, I think there was a typo.
Okay,
Yeah.
cause I thought, well, good. You might as well replace them
I
all.
think the replacement is 40, 47?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it might be a pain for a while, but I'll tell you what, that is a very beneficial project. I'm really impressed with the construction company. Seem like a really good bunch of guys.
Yeah.
They're whipping it out.
Very nice to work with, very nice.
That's good.
They are, just as a reminder, the Schedule 2 is in process now too. They started.
I seen that
Yeah.
out there, yep.
Digging today.
The big hole, the
Yeah.
big dig.
Yep, I
out
went
there.
That's gonna be the easy one, Eric.
That is, yeah.
Okay, any other public comment? Sean, Nicole, you have something for us tonight?
Yeah, we got, the tires for engine 3. They look pretty snazzy. And
Okay.
they were,
That was help from Rotary,
and
right?
it was, help from the Rotary.
Okay.
They're the ones that,
Nice, Rotary bought 4 tires.
Can we send them a thank you?
we will.